The Igbo village at the Frontier Cultural Museum, it's just phenomenal. It mirrors what I have seen in Igbo land. And more people need to know about this because I just heard about it this year.
Once we did find interesting narrative. Mulata Equiano, he is an African, and he was essentially traded, and then he was brought here to Virginia. Later in life, wrote his story. He describes the land that, or his country, as he puts it, and he calls it Igbo. And he talks about, at one point he says, I come from a nation of singers and dancers.
The Igbos are the largest ethnic group of the Nigerian population in the United States. The Igbos have the largest average income in the United States of America of any ethnic group. The Igbos have made significant contributions in all fields of learning. And in various endeavors in the United States of America. One of our scientists designed the fastest computer in the United States of America, Emma Gwali, that make us extremely proud of you.
You know, Nigerian culture has influenced so many cultures around the world. Everything in African culture is done for a reason. So there's this spark. I just can't continue to praise the culture in Nigeria. It's just very rich.
When you start talking about Africanisms, they turn up in places like folklore, certain stories that are now part of American folklore, stories that teach certain kind of lessons and have morals, stories where animals behave like human beings, and there's clearly a lesson in there, and you must be, very attuned to what's happening in the story in order to pick up the meaning of it. It appears in places like that, in music, and the banjo has West African antecedents. That's very well known, but it has become a part of American music at this point.
Most of the world is not told of how African art influenced their work. And I'll give you an example of the Makandi people from Tanzania. Most people that collect African art, when they see the Makandis, they'll go, oh, look at the Makandi. Their abstract art influenced Picasso's Cubism that made him really famous all over the world. Well, when people see the Makandi, they'll say, oh, look, the Picassos of East Africa. It should be, no, the East Africans influenced Picasso. So let's turn that around and give the credit where it's due. And Picasso is the only one that wrote a book on it, saying they influenced me.
Igbo Landing was a place where Igbos were taken to, and because they would not submit to chattel slavery, they decided to walk back into the water. This happened on a number of occasions. Look what this says there. Imiri omambala buanyi biya. Omiri omambala ka'anyi ga ajina. It means the water spirit omambala brought us here. The water spirit omambala will bring us home. Those who came from Omambala were the ones who landed in Igbo Landing, and when they got to Igbo Landing, they refused to be slaves, and they walked back into the water singing that song.
You must be proud to call yourself Onyibo, Nwibo. That's why we have songs. Flavor has given us new songs. Adademma, Adada, Abum Onyibo. It's a new music that is taking over all the internet world. The Igbo-ness, promoting that it's authentically Igbo.
Attention to this material. It has the good face and the plain face. So make sure you have the beautiful face up front, okay?
You have to educate the children. And no matter how much they resist, I think later on they will really appreciate it because they need to understand that with the African art, they're from genius.
What we try to do also is to match your headpiece with your outfit so you look your best.
Now, how do you feel?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That's good and awesome. That's more like baby konaka.
That's best we can do at this time. Don't they look beautiful, right?
Try to be distinctly yourselves. Try to discover your God-given talents. Try to be courageous in asserting what you know best how to do. You have not lost your cultural identity, and you've glorified your history. So for the young people who are here, what I want to beg of you is find out who you are.
Congratulations, my daughter.
There was one thing that I know in the military. Every other ethnic group there, they had a country to call their home, they had a flag, and they had a culture. As African Americans, we didn't. Of course, we had the red, black, and green flag to represent our homeland, but we never knew where we came from because of the transatlantic trade. Now we are able to DNA test and learn our ancestry. Whenever our sisters and brothers, like you, began to DNA test, we learn our ancestry because you know where you came from. So we can tell you where your family ended up, and there's millions of us.
I believe that once you get into the mindset of recognizing that Igbo is a way of life and not just a language or a pop culture trend, you will change the way you see yourself. If you take one thing away from this talk today, it is live your Igbo-ness every day. Some of you are bloggers. Why not start an Igbo-themed blog? Are you a YouTube or have a podcast? Why not start one related to Igbos or using Igbo language? Doctors, once a year, go to Nigeria and volunteer to treat some people in villages. It is time for us to start using our platform, our money, our talents, and our resources to build our community. Nobody can do it better than we can.
We're a people that came from a country without a name. We're a people that came from a country without a family. We were divided and separated so that we could not prosper. Because of the strong spirit of you, of the Igbo, of us, we have prevailed over centuries. We continue to thrive, we continue to grow, and I just want to say to you that for generations to come, we will still stand. As long as the world continues, our presence will be known. As long as you stay together and teach us, we will be a people of strength. We will be a people of pride. We will be a people to be reckoned with through all time.